The truth is, sometimes we get comfortable with the ordinary, sitting inside the lines others have drawn for us, when there is an entire blank canvas of a world waiting for us to trust fall into solutions to questions not even asked yet, to rise, revise, and recognize that remarkable is not only possible, but it is necessary. It is the result of daring to imagine beyond this partition of parameters, always onwards, upwards, and forwards, towards the whys of ideas redefined, the what-ifs of partnerships, the how can we improve this. This is more than a common belief that in order to succeed, we must always see details 3 steps ahead. This is not about spotting market trends or hopping on bandwagons, because many others have been there, and quite frankly, so have we. But we are also about people. Shuruq, the right fit in the right place, like perfectly timed happenings matching skills with partners already found, where the sum of parts can create platforms only teamwork lets you reach. No, not you, us, plural, collective, a home field advantage, expertise meeting the opportunity of what we did, are doing, and will do, investing in holding open doors wide enough for impact to walk through. So we continue being the outlier, the deviation, the above and beyond expectation, the ones uncomfortable with being ordinary. Today is the day. Join Shuruq Partners.
Welcome everyone to weekly Founders Crushin It, where every Wednesday at 4 p.m. GST, we go live on LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube and grab a conversation with one of the successful founders in our region to learn more about their journey and their industry. If you're watching this from and through our LinkedIn, Twitter, or YouTube, remember to follow, subscribe, and click that bell icon to get notified with all our news, events, and updates. This show is brought to you by Shuruq Partners, the leading tech investor in the Middle East, North Africa, and Pakistan. And I'm your host, Tariq Fouad, Head of Growth at Shuruq Partners. And I want to thank you all for tuning in from wherever you are. Today, we have the pleasure to host Ashu Gupta, Chief Technology Officer and co-founder of Lean Technologies. He is a seasoned technology leader whose passion lies in building scalable, reliable, secure, and innovative technology that can positively impact the fintech ecosystem in the Middle East. Ashu draws his extensive experience in technology, compliance, and cybersecurity from working in high-performing companies based in Silicon Valley, London, and India, and holds a master's degree from Columbia University, New York, and a bachelor degree in computer science from India. Lean technology enables businesses across MENA to build cutting-edge financial products through an intuitive and secure API, thus acting as a catalyst for financial innovation across the region. Without further ado, I would love to be joined with Ashu Gupta. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, Tariq. Nice to see you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And this is Lean Technologies have made tremendous amount of news a few months ago with the latest round and raise. And I bet that wouldn't have been possible without amazing technology and a beautiful product that solves very critical problems and complex problems that we face today in the financial sector. Would be great if you can tell us, what is Lean Technologies? What does it provide?
True. That's amazing. The round was obviously amazing. We got a lot of feedback, a lot of blessings, and we are blessed. It was Sequoia's first investment in GCC. It's a big thing. We were able to attract an international VC like Sequoia into the region, which is, again, great. For Lean, as most of our clients know and our investors know, but for your audience, Lean is a platform where you can build financial technology systems and access consumer and customer data. Now, when I say platform, I want to clearly differentiate, and this is my favorite thing to do. We are not an application, we are not a service, we are a platform. And the great analogy, which I always build upon, is treat us like an AWS. If people look back in 2010, 2011, the way AWS started, they started with the very basic services around EC2. They enabled any technology provider or application developer to build EC2 instances very quickly. So similar to that, if we draw the analogy to Lean, we are building the basic foundations needed for any fintech company to drive growth and to build their infrastructure on. We have started with some open banking concepts, which are relatively new in the region. And in regions like the Europe or US, where open banking is more prevalent, people use terms like AISP and PISP, account information service providers and payment service providers. So we are a platform enabling these two things. But that's just the start. Like I said, platform. We are building the foundation, starting with the AISP and PISP services. These services any fintech can use to fetch and connect, to fetch customer data, connect their accounts, build on the data receipt, or to initiate payment from one bank account to another bank account, thereby bypassing all card networks. So save the fees, use Lean, build your company, build your product for these two services. And it is just the start. We are slowly moving towards adding more features, more services on the platform based on these foundations. I'm very hopeful, would be a game changer for the region going forward. Inshallah, we'll see.
Awesome. And I believe I've used Lean, or at least seen Lean in action, as I'm a user of Sarwa, right? I'm a customer of Sarwa, and I believe Sarwa does use Lean to fetch information between banks and the app itself. Is that correct?
Exactly. We have many such customers, and Sarwa is one of our favorite ones. They are using Lean quite a lot. We are driving a lot of traffic from Sarwa. Their Lean connection with the banking system is quite useful for any fintech. Most of the fintechs, we call them fintechs because they're working in finance, and when they work in finance industry, connecting with the banking system is inevitable. You have to do it. Lean provides all the pipes necessary to connect with user accounts. And then with access to those accounts, you can access valuable data, looking into customers' history of transactions, or you can also enable the customers to make bank-to-bank payments. Now, Sarwa, as we know, works on the payment side. It makes them super easy to initiate bank-to-bank payments from their user's account. Then in this process, they save a lot of bank transaction fees and the delays which usually happen with credit cards or any other kind of transfers. Now, just to add to that point, like I said, we have over 50 clients or maybe more using our services, which are using both data as well as payment systems so far. And I'm very, very happy to see the kind of growth we have seen in the region so far. More and more fintechs are coming in and using the innovation which we have brought in the region, and then building their companies on our platform.
Love that, Ashu. Now, you brought up, I believe at least for a lot of the startups that are building the background, or I would say the infrastructure for any industry, will probably get hit with a lot of regulatory barriers that they need to work towards. And they need some sort of working along governments, institutions, both public and private, to ensure that their process goes along.
Right.
Just talk to us about this journey. How has it been since Lean started, and what were some of the challenges that you guys had to go through to actually enable the infrastructure to kick?
Yeah, so this is a great question, and yes, regulatory and compliance challenges are always huge in the fintech industry, especially. I'll give you an example of KSA, Saudi Arabia, which where we are launching pretty soon. Uh, we when we went to Saudi in 2020 and started talking about open banking, the concept was fairly new for them. It was again a collective effort where we started showcasing the use cases which we can build, started informing and educating our clients, regulators, all our well-wishers that this is how you can bring in this kind of frameworks and technology in the region, and it will help the overall economy, overall infrastructure. And it also aligns with the Vision 2030 of Saudi Arabia.
Saudi
Uh,
Arabia.
right. So this was a pretty amazing journey for us. It took a long time, but now we know that Saudi has announced open banking regulation. We are part of the sandbox, soon to be going live in the region. So there are mix and match of complications with regulators. In UAE, we know that we are working hard with the central bank to get at the similar regulations in the UAE. And then so far, we have used the open finance approach in the places where open banking regulations are not available, and we have been quite successful with that. But like anyone who has built companies and worked with regulators, we know it's a slow game. It takes time. It takes time to build the consensus, and it takes a lot of education, a lot of trust building with the regulators and the customers alike. So this is what we are doing. It's a challenging job, but again, the graces of God and the blessings we've been successful. It's moving slow, but moving at a steady pace, and we are already seeing results in some of these regions, and hopefully soon with many other regions. And the regulators start adopting these kind of frameworks, and companies like us and other companies who are building their infrastructure based on lean will be successful.
And thank you so much, Ashu, here, because I think a lot of fintech companies out there, and not necessarily any fintech company, but all companies that require some form of engagement with a regulator, your advice there is spot on. You need to have patience. You need to work along, educate, and build trust. It's all about relationships there.
Exactly.
But to think that you can cut corners or to jump hurdles and to go Rambo style, chances are you're going to burn bridges and burn relationships. Thank you so much for some of these very clear advices. Ashu, Lean Technologies today is one of the most established names in fintech in our region. Coming in, where do you think Lean Technologies' strengths lie today in this very increasingly competitive landscape? And probably a lot more infrastructure plays will come in. What would you say Lean Technologies' main competitive moat is?
That's a very great question, Arun. I think I'll be just selfish. I come from the technology background. But from my point of view, and based on the research and study I have done in the region, I think our biggest USP is our tech, our product which we have built. We have taken, from the very beginning, we started in 2019, went live in 2020. We have taken a very slow and steady approach so far, and we have built a product which just works. And that is what I think any customer or any client would want, that they plug in, they start using the product, and it works, right? I'll just give an example, which is my favorite one. When you use Apple, you expect nothing but the best. Same thing I apply to Lean and say our products are in slowly moving into the category. I'd not say that we have become Apple yet, but we are slowly moving there. Our strength lies in that once you start using the product, you can be sure of a couple of things. The product will work. Your data will be secured. I personally spend my days and nights in building in building this product, making sure that we are secure from all sides and we are compliant with all the local data regulations, localization laws, data protection laws, etc. So we are always on the right side of the law. We are always following the right standards in building our product. As you might know, you might have seen our announcements. We also achieved our ISO certification, ISO 27K,
Yes,
which
yes.
was again a
Congratulations on
huge.
that.
Thank you, and it was
That's huge.
amazing. It is huge. It is huge. It is a huge
Yeah.
investment from a startup like us, which showcases that how serious we are with our security, with our product and platform. And we decided to make that investment early on. Within the first year of the company, we started working on it, and we got it. And then the growth itself within the company, the number of clients we are signing today, I'm very happy to see that our product is working as we expect it to work. Now the challenge obviously remains is to keep the same momentum going on over a period of time as we grow, as we expand and add more and more features into our platform. Remember the analogy I gave about Amazon. EC2 was the first thing, and then came hundred other features on the
True.
platform, which is going to
True.
happen on our platform too over a period of time. Hopefully, inshallah, we'll keep building the same with the same zeal, with the same motivation, and keep serving the community around us.
Love it, Ashu. And this actually gives me an opportunity here for all of those of you guys tuning in and watching us today with Lean Technologies. Throw your questions in the comment section should you want Ashu to answer them or myself. This is an opportunity for you to ask Lean Technologies, one of the most prominent players in fintech infrastructure, questions about what was the journey like, anything with regards to building a strong team, a strong founding team, or maybe expanding across geographies, or maybe working with a regulator, anything whatsoever. This is a great medium for us to answer them, and obviously feel free to shoot any questions towards us. Remember again, if you're looking at this live through LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter, follow us, click that bell icon to get notified with all the news and events and articles that we post here and there. Ashu, back to you, and I would love to ask you, you brought up very, very I would say, vivid experiences with the regulator, with how you're enabling customers and your clients, to expect things to work, right? Once I plug in, it should play without any errors in a sense, or without any hurdles, and it's very simple, very intuitive. But I would love to kind of go back in time a little bit to the beginning, and if you can maybe share with us the experiences that you've seen with clients going out to them with Lean, right? At the beginning stages, chances are they also needed some sort of education. What were some of these challenges that you faced putting Lean in front of clients? And fast forward to today, what are some of the things that you're seeing are changing from the client side? Are there any behaviors that are changing? Are there any expectations that are coming in differently from previously?
Yeah, that's a great question, Tarek. I think when you launch a very innovative, different product in any market, you expect to meet challenges, and that is what our thinking was early on. One of the biggest challenge we had was around creating trust. Why would someone give you your bank data? why would someone trust you with transferring money from their account, right? So that is all about building trust. The companies or the fintechs, and it's a very small anecdote, but it helped me understanding what I need to do on the product side or on the from the technology point of view to work around these problems. When we started, I think there were only 20 or so fintechs registered with the regulators at the time. Today, I'm happy to see that the number has grown to 300, which is amazing.
Amazing.
But at the time, it was everyone was struggling. Like I said, if you're in fintech, you're dealing with finances, and the first thing you will have to see at some point of time, how I'm going to bill, how I'm going to transfer the money. If you're working in the data space, then how am I going to get the data? And all the technology early on before we started was like people were getting uh, spending a lot of time in collecting PDF statements or running KYC checks, and then again, very ancient ways, the way I like to call it. And suddenly Lean comes in and we are telling you, use this API and it's all done. Magically, it's all done. So there were cases, not many, but there were some cases where people didn't believe us. No, it's not going to happen. And we had to create a lot of demos for them to showcase that no, it is possible. This is how it works. At the same time, building trust was the biggest thing. The way we project the screens at the show the screens to the end user, the customers like you and me, who are accessing, say for example, Server. When you go on Server and try to punch in your bank details, you should get enough confidence that I'm doing the right thing. My data would be safe. My transactions would be safe. The payment which I would make or initiate will go through, and I'll see no problems. So we had invested a lot of time in building the workflows in a way which gives you enough confidence, will give you enough information before you proceed. And then on top of that, the support which you get if something, because it's still a software issue can happen. But once the issue happens, how quickly can we resolve them and reach out to the end users or our clients and help them removing the blockers and moving on. It was the whole journey we have to go through. The biggest challenge was, again, to coming to your point, was building the trust around our clients, around our end users who are using these companies, and we are still doing that. I will not say we are done. There is a lot of education which needs to happen. We are currently investing quite a bit of time in our communications and the email campaigns, as well as education material which we are publishing. As we are going into KSA soon, more open banking topics are coming in. My other co-founders and the C-suite colleagues, they are participating in different conferences and different forums to just educate others what open banking is, how does it work, what is the role we are playing, how are we secure, how are we regulated, just like with any other bank, how we have to go through and jump through different hoops to prove that we can be trustworthy and we can provide such services to our clients and users.
Thank you so much, Ashu. I think it wasn't, maybe it's just to kind of summarize, going out in the market and enabling or building trust requires effort and work from founders. And you guys did a lot of that. You went on, you took the ownership and the hassle of actually getting ISO certified to show that, hey, listen, our processes, our tech backend is extreme international standards, and we are abiding towards these standards, and you can expect us to abide towards these standards. You did a lot of education towards clients, and by actually going deep into the workflows and the design of how to enable you to see that trust is embedded in the process, and that is not necessarily something just to talk about, but it's something to be designed for. And I love that notion. It's like you're building trust by design rather than just talking about it, right? And then finally, we have to do some talking, and this is where the education comes in. And you do that through the panels, through face-to-face meetings, and through forums like the Founders Crushin It. So I love that, Ashu. Thank you so much for answering this beautifully. One last question.
Of course.
If you were to name or choose one word to describe lean technologies, what would that be?
There is nothing other than impact which describes Lean. This is the impact which we are creating with Lean. Impact is what drove me to the region from Silicon Valley. Impact is what drives all the founders in this company and all the employees. Lean is creating a platform which will change lives. I am 120% sure about it. So impact is what Lean is.
Love that. Thank you so much, Ashu. Now to the section that I love the most is the question and answer section. So I want to thank everybody who's posting their questions in the comment section. Feel free to do a lot more of those. If we did not get a chance to get your questions and you're looking at this pre-recorded, rest assured, write your comments again. I'll make sure to pick them up and then we can answer them for you separately and put you in touch with Ashu if you wanted. Atik, thank you so much. So Atik sent us a very beautiful message saying, great, keep it up, great work. Thank you so much, Atik, for joining us from YouTube. Now, Ashu, a question from Mustafa Youssef. He's asking, about your expansion to KSA. When do you think the maturity point to move to a new field, and probably by here also a new country? And regarding technology, do you think it should be move and improve, or maybe taking your time to get the best product at launch stage, right? So maybe a strategy at launching, what school are you from? Try to perfect it before going, or you want to go and break things up until you get the right thing?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I love the fact that we are thinking strategically. And it is one of the biggest challenges with all the founders and people who are moving into a new region or launching something new. I think it depends on what region you are going in. If I have to take my example, for Lean, we had to decide on similar things, what we should do. Like I mentioned earlier, in UAE, when we launched, we took our time to perfect our product. We took our time to build the right foundation because we knew that when we launch the product, people or our clients and customers would be expecting the same quality they might have experienced in the West or in Europe, and we didn't want it to come short of that expectation because then it feels like the game is over. It's like I was mentioning earlier, it's all about trust, and your product should just work, should be per people expectation, your customers' expectation. We took our time in that case when we launched for the first time. Our strategy is a little bit different in KSA. In KSA, it's an open banking world. We know already have launched the product. We have perfected the platform. So there are strategies. We're going to go in, start with whatever is available, and then we'll iterate over a period of time. So basically, it depends what region you're going in, what area you're coming in, and then you just take action based on the data available to you for that region, for that product. Hope it answers your question.
Love that. Thank you so much, Ashu. And Mustafa, feel free to maybe, if you want to add more questions there, or if we did not necessarily answer that question for you, feel free to come back to us with another one. Another question, Ashu, is from Utkarsh Singh. I hope I'm saying the name right here. Ashu, you would probably support me here, but he's saying, great to see Lean create massive regional noise. Do you see Lean going global rather than staying regional? And for example, expanding into markets like Pakistan, India, China, etc.
Is it that like every founder's dream to make their company global, right? So to answer the question, yes, I would love to take Lean global, but at the same time, we have to create our hold in the region first. Like I said, there are tremendous opportunities available to us in this region. There are a lot of things which need to be done, and we are expanding quite a bit. We have already expanded into KSA. A couple of more markets would be coming by end of this year, and I think I can uh, announce on this platform that Pakistan is in our reach. Hopefully, this year we will be in Pakistan, and then we are trying to expand as much as we can. And this is one of the biggest reason. Another reveal so that I can be closer to our clients in the region. I'm moving my base. I moved from Silicon Valley to London, created the team. Now I'm moving to Dubai. Next month, I'll be in the region. We'll be working from there and we'll be growing and expanding in the region furthermore.
Love that. Love that. So I can't wait to help you get to our friends in Pakistan. This is a country that we love investing in. We love its founders, and we've built tremendous amount of connections on the ground. And obviously, extend as well our support in the office that we have there for Lean Technologies. And obviously, to host you in Dubai, where we have another office here. We can't wait to have you here, Ashu. And I want to really thank you for an amazing, beautiful chat that we had in today together. Looking forward to working very closely with you and the Lean team. And thank you so much, Ashu.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was a great chat. I love to connect again. And all the audiences, please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn or through this forum. I'll be happy to connect with all of you. Hopefully, I'll see you in Dubai soon. And thanks again for inviting me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for everybody who's watching us today. From myself, Tariq Ahmed, and Shuruk Partners, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, this is brought to you by Shuruk Partners, the leading tech investor in the Middle East, North Africa, and Pakistan, every Wednesday at 4 p.m. If you have any questions on how we can improve the series, or you want to see other series that we can build for you, please throw them in the comment section, or even DM us, or reach out to me directly on LinkedIn. Without further ado, have a great weekend.